Hi guys, my name is Faith, and today's writing video is going to be about the differences between writing an essay and writing a novel. This is actually something that I've been thinking about on my own for a while, and I wanted to make a video about. I think a lot of us growing up had English and literature classes that revolved around reading books and writing essays. Not many high schools I know offer creative writing or novel writing. So it took me a while in college when I finished my first novel to realize that the novel was not an essay, because writing an essay was really all I knew how to do. So I've realized three main differences between essays and novel writings that I want to share with you if you're going to be making that switch over to novel writing and you don't really understand what the fundamental differences are. The first main difference is that when you're writing an essay, it is for an academic aim. You are usually doing an analysis of a book or something else, and the difference with writing a novel is that a novel is meant to be entertainment. And that's regardless of the genre or the themes that you present. A lot of authors, first-time authors, don't see their book as entertainment, and they don't think about the audience. They kind of just think about the message they want to convey. But you're not going to have a reader come away with something and think about it unless the story is entertaining enough for them to keep reading in the first place. So when you're setting out to write a novel, think about your audience, think about the plot. So much of the plot has to be designed to engage the reader, and you just don't have that in the structure of an essay. So that's a huge difference that you have to think of right off the bat. The second main difference between novel writing and essay writing is that when you write an essay, it is from your perspective as the writer. You are making claims or stating opinions, and then you are supporting them with examples. But when you are writing a novel, a lot of the novel is going to be from the perspective of one or more characters in your novel. So you have to learn how to write from a different perspective than your own. And this is something I didn't fully realize until I took some acting classes in college, because I would write characters and they almost just seemed like they were serving a purpose, and that purpose was to convey a message that the author, me, was trying to convey. And while all your characters to a certain extent are extensions of you because they came from you, they're going to have at least some small part of you in them, they can't be you. They have to be their own person and have their own life even outside the story, and you have to develop that before you sit down and write the character. So in an acting class, we had to make up a character, invent a story, and we had to bring the story up until a certain scene and pick a scene that we wanted to act out in that character's life. And it wasn't until I sat down and really developed that extensive backstory that I realized this is what I have to do for all my characters in my novel. When you write an essay, everyone knows you're the one talking. But in a novel, you don't want to inject your own opinion, and if you do so, it has to be very subtle, and it has to kind of not really be stated, but may arise from the way a character speaks or acts or an exchange that they have at some point. But if a reader is reading a novel and it sounds like the author themselves is trying to inject themselves into the book, it's going to take them back from the story and make them less engaged. So you have to be really careful about that when you're writing a novel. And then the third main difference between essay writing and novel writing is that in an essay, you're doing way more telling than showing, because you basically are stating your argument, and those statements are absent from most novels, because in an essay you're doing the analysis based on events or exchanges that happened in a novel. And when I wrote my first novel, I would put an exchange between characters or have an event happen and then feel obligated in the next paragraph to kind of explain it and say why it was significant. But you want to leave that out of your novel. You want to leave that to the audience and the reader to develop on their own, because everyone interprets scenes differently, and the less you tell the reader, the more freedom they have to use their own imagination and come away with themes that might be specific to them that you might not have even thought of. So you don't want to dictate after a scene and tell what the point of the scene was. I think it comes from this desire to communicate and be understood. You don't want to just write a scene and have it taken the wrong way, but you can't just tell the reader in a way that you would in an essay what the point was. That definitely takes away from the story. It makes it boring, it makes it dry, it makes it not feel like a story anymore. So definitely be aware of that when you're writing. Those are my 3 main differences. If you have any others that you've thought of, definitely post. So I hope that was helpful and you think about these things, and good luck writing.